Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video, and this is another review of a very good show, House of the Dragon Season 2. Now, I have to say that I think, so far from what I've seen, that House of the Dragon is perhaps the best show of the year. We're halfway there we're in the midway point of the year. And really, I have to say that I am very pleased with House of the Dragon. I also was pleased with Season 1, and I was actually very surprised on how good House of the Dragon was, because I was very worried about House of the Dragon because of the situation with Game of Thrones and how David and Dan just mishandled and butchered seasons 6 through actually 5 through 8. It was bad. It was bad. I won't say that I am a super fan of A Song of Ice and Fire, but I do enjoy a medieval fantasy setting. I always have, and to have another one, it's a great thing. Now, I have to do a brief recap and spoiler warning ahead of time. But yeah, this story is centered around the Dance of the Dragons, the big civil war that happened between the Blacks and the Greens. So Team Green is the one we have with Aegon and the High Towers, and of course Rhaenyra with the Blacks and the other factions up in Dragonstone. It's very intense, and neither side is willing to give in, and they're also quite hypocritical, both sides, because they have both done terrible things. But that's what makes this story great. That's what creates a lot of conflict. Now, I have my notes, and I'm just gonna go quickly through them, because this isn't gonna be a big review slash analysis of each episode, because so far it's been 3 episodes, and forgive me if you hear noises, but I live in the countryside and animal noises are the norm. Anyway, let's go to my notes. So I have to say, one of the great things about this show that I really enjoy is the costumes. They are tremendously well made. They have color. They are very accurate for the medieval period. You get some brigantines, and you get some very cool outfits, and the gowns and the dresses, and it's all great. It's very good. It's very good. Now, I do have to say that some costumes are a bit questionable, but we'll be discussing that eventually. The writing is incredible. I mean, good grief. After Rings of Power, after Boba Fett, after Ahsoka, after a bunch of other shows that have terrible writing and acting at times, having this show have so very good actors. Kudos to the actors, but also kudos to the writers, because these writers are actually competent adults who know what to do, unlike The Acolyte or Rings of Power. It's just ugh. But yeah, it's very good. It has very good writing, and sometimes the scenes don't have writing, dialogue, I mean. They don't have dialogue at all, but you can feel, you can see the emotions, and you can tell how characters are feeling. If they're feeling remorseful, if they're feeling angry, if they're feeling sad, all their feelings are here in the face, and the actors have done a tremendous job. The acting has been stellar for pretty much all of the show so far. There have been scenes where I'm like, okay, but yeah, overall it's pretty good. And the set pieces are also great. The sets, gorgeous. It's seeing all these different rooms and these individual pieces are just a delight to see. And also the dragons look amazing. It's great. I am enjoying this show. I'm enjoying the design of the dragons. Each dragon is very unique. the writing and the world building that they're doing for Westeros. It's incredible. Now it's not perfect, and we will get to that. But I have to commend Matt Smith for his portrayal of Daemon Targaryen, which is incredible. He is a great actor. Matt Smith is truly a great actor, and he is definitely one of my favorite characters in the story, even if he is very impulsive and angry and violent. But that's part of his character, and it's why we like him. He's this brash, he is swaggering, all the good stuff. Also, the actor for Kristen Cole, man, I don't know. Like, I know Kristen Cole is slimy, and he's failing upwards, which is yeah, he's not very competent, but yet he's failing upwards. And I know that some people hate him. I don't really hate him. Not really. I don't hate Kristen Cole. I know he's a scumbag, but I don't really hate him. I blame Rhaenyra for the way that he is right now. Yeah, so if you're gonna hate Kristen Cole, you're gonna have to hate on Rhaenyra as well, because yes, he made his decisions, but they all started when Rhaenyra just slept with him, and it ruined him. And ever since then, it's just been an upwards, downward spiral for him. Also, the character of Larys Clubfoot, Larys Strong, my goodness, he is a conniving, manipulative bastard, and I love it. The way he shifts his presence around people, he is hunched near the king and upwards with this lady Hightower, Allison Hightower. It's great. Love the character work. It's bellissimo. Now, I do have some complaints about the show. I do have some things that I'm like, I'm not so sure about. For one, it's some of the changes done to the characters, because I don't have the Fire and Blood supplement that talks about the history of Westeros and the Targaryen family. I don't have the books, but I have watched hours upon hours of videos regarding A Song of Ice and Fire, and I am vaguely aware of the story going forward and all the things happening. So I do know that there have been some characters that have been cut, or at least haven't been shown yet. For example, where is the other? I think it's Magon or Magor. I'm not so sure. That is one of the moment where one of Alicent's grandchildren gets decapitated. It should have been two boys, not one boy and one girl. I mean, the girl was part in the books, but there was a third child, which was another boy, and that one is the one who lived, and he got taunted by Blood and Cheese, the duo that assassinated them. So yeah, there's been some character changes. Also, I never spoke about this because I didn't talk about season 1 back then when it aired. I was in college and I was studying, and it was a bunch of things. I was busy, but I was still watching it. So, the Velaryons. House Velaryon, they are also Valyrian. Boys, Velaryon, Valyrian. It's Game of Thrones always, A Song of Ice and Fire always does this with the names. Anyway, the Velaryons are Valyrians, so they technically should have light skin, the silver hair, and purple eyes. But in the show, they put them, gave them dark skin, which at first when I saw, I was worried that they were just gonna have again another race swap and agenda filling quota. But they actually used that to their advantage in the show, which I commend. For example, we know that Rhaenyra's kids are bastards because they are from the Harlan Corliss, some dude named Strong, the older brother of the Clubfoot, and they're bastards of him. So now, if the Velaryons were white, then we would have easily, they could have passed more or less as being the daughters of Laenor Velaryon, the sons of Laenor Velaryon. They could have passed that, and it would be more ambiguous if they are or aren't, even though they have like brown hair. But yeah, but since the Velaryons are black and the children were not black, and they were not black, and not only that, they just didn't have many Valyrian features. So yeah, that was a very interesting and creative use, which I commend. It's like, yeah, maybe they did it for the DEI quota filling, but at least they used it, and it's okay. And it's like, okay, fine. That's the thing. That's one of the things that, even though it's a criticism I have that they put black Valyrians, they still used it in the story, and they used it well. And I'm like, it's more easy to accept, and I'm like, okay, fine, then I have no problem with it. It's one of the reasons why this show is great, because even the things that you have trouble with, they can be justified, at least for story purposes, on some occasions. What I'm not so certain about is the black nobleman that's part of the entourage of King Aegon. I don't know, is he a Dornish man? Because from what I understand, the Dornish people aren't black. They are more like tan Arabic-ish, probably mixing with some Latinos. Because, we have Oberyn Martell, who was played by Pedro Pascal, and he's Latino. So maybe, I don't know, it could be a... Thing is that it can't be a Summer Islander, because the Summer Islanders are very way down in the south, and they don't really like joining up with other nations, and they also get enslaved a bunch. It's like Missandei, she's from the Summer, but maybe the family is from Southern Essos. I don't know. It's some minor detail. Sorry about that. Minor details that it's like, okay, why is this person here? But also, it's King's Landing. It's a very, people of all places come to King's Landing, so it's like, okay, I'm willing to let it slide, because it's not that big of an issue. It's a minor character, but still, I'm a sucker for medieval society being depicted accurately, how they would be, because medieval societies were rarely cosmopolitan or diverse. It's just ridiculous, but whatever. Also, the Kingsguard armor completely sucks. I don't like it at all. It looks terrible. I would have preferred something better. I don't really like the armor. I like the helmets, the old Corinthian style, not fully Corinthian style, but they're quite good. And what else? Oh yeah, Daemon's armor, I think it's over-designed. It's like, we have the regular fantasy armor and the medieval armor both in the same place, and it's like, they clash a bit too much. Daemon, oh my god. There's so many names that rhyme here. But Daemon's armor, I'm like, I don't really like it. Looks too sci-fi. That's the thing, it looks a bit sci-fi with all the thingies and moving parts and layers. I don't know, I would have preferred a more simple but decorated plate of armor. But that's just my personal preference. It doesn't really knock off the show much. Also, they haven't addressed still the massacre that what's her name? I have it here. Rhaenys, the wife of Corlys Velaryon. Yeah, no. It's, she killed a bunch of innocent peasants at the end of season 1, and it has not been mentioned at all by either side. It's like, writers, you're more competent than that. Please, mention something, give us something. I don't know. I'm a bit. It should be mentioned because it was a major moment. It's, writers are competent. They shouldn't ignore that. So I'm hoping that it's currently only episode 3 that has aired. So I'm hoping that at some point they're gonna mention that, Rhaenys killed a bunch of people, and with the dragon it wasn't necessary. Now, for the future of the show, I am very hopeful. The show so far has been great. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 so far. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I am very hopeful for the future. I want to see what's next. I want to see the dance of the dragons finally happening. Dragon against dragon. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. Lots of people are gonna die. But we're gonna have a good show. I don't know if we will get season 3. Probably. I don't know. But we'll see. So yeah, make sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more reviews. If you want to see more tournaments, because we have the Ambroke Challenge Tournament Season 7. And I have to make a video about what happened with the other seasons, because stuff happened there. I was a bit in a low point that I didn't want to upload videos. I wasn't really feeling making YouTube, but recent events of the Acolyte video getting so much traction and so many comments, I'm like, oh, this is fun. Even if some comments were insulting me, I'm like, oh, this is fun. I can see why people do this. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been ADG, and I will see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.